We could be headed for another House Speaker showdown. The vote for the speakership is scheduled for this Friday, January 3rd. It's unclear whether current Speaker Mike Johnson will hold his position. House Oversight Committee Chair James Comer saying on Fox News this weekend that he strongly urges President-elect Donald Trump to convince any holdouts to vote for Johnson. Here with more, we've got our very own Rick Newman joining us. Rick, it's a really slim margin here. Johnson can only afford to lose one vote among Republicans to keep his speakership. Does he have the votes?
Not clear. And for anybody wondering what the heck is going on here, all you have to do is just go back to when Republicans had the very same battle in 2023. I think it was September of 2023 when they dumped Kevin McCarthy. And the issue is going to be the same thing all over again. There's this small group of what you might call super conservative budget hawks who want to see an axe taken to the federal spending, and they might oppose Johnson because he's not giving them what they want. So, the Republicans sound like one party. I mean, it is the Republican Party, but it really is split into factions. And it's not at all clear that even though Republicans are going to control the White House and both chambers of Congress when Trump takes office, that Trump is going to be able to control enough Republicans in the House to get what he wants. So this is going to be the first test, is whether Republicans can reelect Mike Johnson as Speaker. And if they don't, again, it's going to be a replay of what we saw in 2023 with one new candidate will come, then another new candidate will come, and it's going to be a question of who can make the promises to persuade a small number of super conservative Republicans to vote for a speaker.
And as you were speaking right there, Rick, you had President-elect Trump coming out saying that Mike Johnson is a good, hardworking, religious man. Mike Johnson has my complete and total endorsement, and I know you and all of us are going to be closely monitoring how this all plays.
That might not be enough to do it.
Yeah,
that in itself is not enough.
Rick, I also want to get your take while we have you on the passing of former President Jimmy Carter, particularly focusing in. We talked so much about his overall influence, especially some of the work that he's done post-White House. We talked about his battle with inflation while in the White House, but we want to zero in on the energy sector and some of the energy policies. I'm curious just how you think his policies have influenced, have helped shaped some of the modern energy strategies that we have today.
If you go back to the 1970s, it was a completely different time in the United States with regard to energy. America was not energy independent as it is today. It was very reliant on oil from the Middle East. And when Jimmy Carter won election in 1976, that was just a couple years after the 1973 Arab oil embargo. That's when we had gas lines, gasoline prices skyrocketed. We had rationing. So Jimmy Carter wanted to take steps to make the United States more energy independent. He called for the creation of an energy department, for example, to coordinate U.S. energy policy, which was just scattered throughout a bunch of different federal agencies at the time. He did get that. So he signed legislation that created the Energy Department in 1977. He pushed for more U.S. energy development, including fossil fuels and renewables. I mean, renewables were just getting started at the time, and there was not the kind of efficiency we have today. But he did do things to establish more U.S. energy development. The thing that really made the United States energy independent was the development of new fracking technology, which came online way after Jimmy Carter, around 2005, 6, 2008, 2009. But Jimmy Carter kind of got the ball rolling. And I think he must have been very happy to see the kind of all of the above energy policies that we began to develop in the 2010s, which is what he called for all the way back in the 1970s.
It certainly was ahead of his time. Rick, thank you so much for breaking that down for us. I really appreciate it.